What a start to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm not going to waste any time here. Mexico, South Africa to kick things off. Funny enough, the same game that took place on June 11, 2010 for the World Cup in South Africa is the same game that takes place on June 11, 2026 for the World Cup in North America. Granted, this game was played specifically in Mexico. Long-term storytelling. But regardless, Mexico, a 2-0 victory here over South Africa, and it does not surprise me. Mexico, they were the better team heading into this, and even just watching the game, they were the better team from the beginning. They got their chances early on, they set the tone early, they were causing pressure, and even watching that game, it felt like a mistake was brewing in the beginning for South Africa, and it happened because in the 9th minute, Satoli with a costly error in the back, and Quinones makes him pay for it for Mexico. He gives them a 1-0 lead in the 9th minute, and he had his chances too. He could have scored another goal, but he hit the post in one of his chances in the first half. And then you have Raul Jimenez. He had his chances, and then in the second half, 67th minute, a beautiful ball from Alvarado that finds Jimenez, who heads it home to make it 2-0. I mean, Mexico, this is a good result for them, and especially after tonight's result, they are definitely going to have a better chance of coming out of this group in terms of top two, rather than relying on the best third-place teams. But I'll be honest, I don't think it's a lock. Yes, Mexico are good. Yes, they're a good team. I think they're underrated, and they could definitely make some noise in this World Cup. But I'm going to be honest with you. Williams kept South Africa in this game. I feel bad for Ronwen Williams because it felt like he was the only one that was really trying from the team. And it's not that no one cared from South Africa. It's just more like the goalie had no help. South Africa's attack, they just had no urgency, no creativity. They didn't create their own chances. It just felt like they really couldn't do anything in this one. Credit to Mexico's defense, but even then, it just felt like they barely had the ball and they just barely could do anything. But for Mexico, yes, you win 2-0, as I was saying, but you should have won 2-0. Not enough. Really 3-0 or 4-0 if you ask me. And that's the bare minimum. You had your chances. And listen, when you play South Korea or Czechia, you have to be better against those teams who are definitely better than this team that you faced today. But regardless, congrats to Mexico on their win. A good start to their campaign. As for South Africa, I think it's over for them already, unfortunately, and it's not going to get any easier for them. The funny thing is, by the way, quick thing from this game, was the fact that this game had more red cards. That's right, 2 goals, both from Mexico, 3 total red cards, 2 from South Africa, 1 from Mexico. I actually have some interesting stats here for you guys. Per OptaJoe on X, South Africa are the first team to receive 2 red cards in a FIFA World Cup match since 2006, when both Portugal and Netherlands had 2 players sent off in their round of 16 clash. And this is also the first ever match that was an opener for the World Cup that featured 3 red cards. So a chaotic game. The intensity was definitely there, but regardless, a good start to the World Cup. But the game that happened tonight was even better. South Korea and Czechia. I'm telling you guys what, either of these guys can beat Mexico, like I've said before. They could definitely win the group, but South Korea have a better chance as they won 2-1 tonight over Czechia. And funny enough, they conceded the first goal of the game. Also per OptaJoe, 4 of South Korea's 8 all-time wins in the FIFA World Cup have been 2-1 victories after conceding the opening goal. It's funny, too, because South Korea, they were playing better in this game. Like, from the beginning, I know the first half was pretty slow, but they were getting their chances, especially from Heung-min Son, who, by the way, you gotta score on some of those chances, man. I'm just so disappointed. I love Heung-min Son. He's a class player, but it's just not the same from his Tottenham days. And seeing him miss some of those chances. Now, to his credit, Kovar had a great game in net for Czechia. And you know what the funny thing is? It's a common theme that the teams that lost, their goalies played well, and they just didn't really get as much support. I mean, more so Williams, but you guys get the point. But anyways, Czechia, they score first. Kovar's making great saves, right? South Korea was outplaying them. 59th minute, and by the way, one of the best throw-in goals I've ever seen. And if you're an NFL fan out there listening to this, think of it like Tom Brady, Dan Marino, just threading the needle. You couldn't have put that ball in a better spot. I mean, Vladimir Tsufal, a perfect throw that finds the head of Krejci, who's able to put it home to make it 1-0 for Czechia in the 59th minute. However, 8 minutes later, the 67th minute, and this guy was the MVP of the day for me. Hwang In-bom scores a beautiful goal. Now, credit to Lee Kang-in, who, by the way, great IQ, great awareness. He saw there was space. He saw his man was open. He made the pass he had to make. But Hwang In-bom makes a beautiful move past the defender and just sends the defender to the floor. A beautiful shot that curls past Kovar. No chance, 1-1. And it was a deserving 1-1 too. And it never felt like it was over for South Korea either, by the way, because even though they got punched in the mouth, it felt more like a wake-up call to them. And like I said, they responded well, a beautiful goal. They did not stop there. Now, this is the sequence, to me, that really decided the game. I know, one-goal game, it's not over in the 77th or 80th minute, but moments like this determine a game 100%. In the 77th minute, Czechia have a free kick, and Tomáš Souček, his header goes in, he finishes it. However, he's offside, and because of that, a goal is called out. No goal for Czechia. 2-1 wiped off the board. 3 minutes later, the 80th minute, Hwang In-bom, a beautiful ball into the box, and an even better finish by Oh Hyung-gu, who makes it 2-1 South Korea. That moment right there to me was, that's it. To have a goal called off, like I've said before, ruled out in that moment, and then 3 minutes later to concede the other way, that part of the game too, no less, there's no recovering from that. South Korea, they deserved to win. They were the better team in this game. I had them finishing third in my group, and I'll be honest, for my predictions, that is, I was wrong. I said for my group predictions that they were going to be third and that I thought Czechia were going to win. But nope. South Korea get the job done. Props to them. And also to their credit, Czechia, they played pretty well, I thought. They weren't bad. They had their chances, especially in stoppage time. They had a couple of chances. But to his credit, Kim Seung-gu, he deserves credit here. He made a couple of crucial saves in stoppage time at the end of the second half, at the end of the game, honestly. And if it weren't for him, it could have been 2-2. But regardless, a huge result for South Korea. And I loved every bit of this game. The second half was so much better. Honestly, looking at that game, I think South Korea might be the favorites in this group. And not only that, like I've said before, either of these teams can beat Mexico. I still think Mexico are the favorites, and I still think they win the group, but the gap is not that big. I think it's closer than what some might think. I think either of these teams can beat out Mexico for first place. Now, I don't think Czechia, with this result, especially because Mexico won earlier too, are going to finish top two. If anything, I think it's safe to say after today that Mexico and South Korea are guaranteed top two in the group, automatic qualification for the tournament. But this group, all three of those teams are good. Czechia deserve to be a best third place team and make the tournament. If this group doesn't have three teams, and if Czechia don't make it, I'm going to be disappointed. Czechia are an underrated side. But regardless, a huge result for South Korea. We'll see how Czechia responds their next game. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the games. And with that being said, thank you all for listening. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on the games Friday.